And we play all the way for Leeds United. Ellen Road is the only place for us. With heart and soul for the goal that's clearly sighted. We're out to toast each other from that silver cup.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Leeds United News and Views podcast, Burnley vs Leeds at Burnley review. Fuck. Honestly, I don't know what to say about that game. Oh, fuck me dead. I'm not even going to start, so I'll let Chris start. Go, mate.
Well, first of all, all three of us here tipped fairly straightforward wins in the preview of this game, and I was sitting there watching the game last night with you boys, and I thought, fuck, I feel like a right fool now. I've stuffed this one up proper. I almost felt like I jinxed it because last night was just not a straightforward performance. It was a very typical versus Burnley game. They played hard. They played rough. They were playing WWE or whatever it is that the kids call it, because it wasn't bloody football they were playing.
They were playing Don Revy Leeds United football.
Without the good football.
Without the good football. It was not the game that we all thought. It was largely down to the way they played. But I think once again, and I've said it numerous times this season, I'll say it right now, I think we made life harder for ourselves in certain aspects of the game than we needed to. And ultimately it cost us points. We were lucky, to be honest and to be candid, we were lucky to escape that game with a point.
Absolutely. Jason, do you have anything to add on to that?
Oh, look, I mean, just to piggyback onto that, I think anytime you play Burnley, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get it's going to be a grind. It's not going to, you're not going to see much in the way of champagne football down at Turf Moor. I don't know how much it had to do with if we didn't play as well or if Burnley forces into that way of playing. We missed an enforcer, I thought. To sort of give Calvin a bit of backup.
And having one up front. Oh, not a good decision, Bielsa. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, it was just a frustrating performance. Glad to get a point and be done with it. I think probably in hindsight, probably a little bit naive thinking we were going to go there and get a 3-4-0 win, because they are a tough side. They are a tough side though. So I don't remember last season, both games were grinds, even regardless of the scoreline. So I'm just hoping that this 2-week break we can sort out the defence, because it still looks a tiny bit shaky. And obviously get Clicky back and Fopo as a natural left back, and that'll free.
We definitely miss them. For sure, we definitely miss them.
And carrying on from what Jason said. Yes, I do think that we probably walked into that game and we thought it was going to be easier than it was. And I mean, we showed that as supporters on the last podcast. We all tipped straightforward wins. I saw someone on social media after the game make the point that Premier League teams are in the Premier League for a reason.
Exactly.
Because they're the best. They're the best teams in England, and they've all deserved to be there, regardless of whether they're a Manchester City or whether they're a Burnley. They've all earned their rights to be there. But once again, I'll reiterate the fact, and nothing I've seen on social media and nothing I saw in that game will change this. We, on paper, are the far superior team, and we should have done better than what
Burnley.
We did.
Yes, agreed.
We should have done much better than what we did. Playing style and this.
Even a 2-1 would have been. I absolutely agree.
I buy into the hyperbole that a team can play a certain way, and it'll change the way the other team plays, or whatever you want to say. But I think we're also falling into the trap of results that we got last year, thinking that will just translate to results we'll get again this year. And Jason was right. Last year's games against Burnley were a grind, but in one of those games we absolutely took the piss against them.
Yes.
It's
still made us work for it. I mean, I think regardless if you win 1-2, 3-4-0, whatever it may be, you're always going to get it's always going to be a working performance that you're going to have to put in against teams like Burnley. I mean, we'll probably come up against teams. Well, other teams in our this season that will play similar. It'll only be probably the big six that that are going to play free flowing football and allow us to sort of play our game going forward. But even in the Championship, I mean, every team's set up just to frustrate us. So I don't see Burnley being being any different. But I guess it's our challenge as to what we're going to do when teams do set up and do press us like that. So.
Well, Burnley got a point in their cup final, so congratulations to them, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, there was not really much positive things that came from that game for Leeds other than a point for us from, on the ladder. And also the goal from Bamford, which was more, as even Bamford said in the post-match interview, it was a typical striker's goal. Someone else set it up. He just finished it by sticking his foot out. What are your thoughts on how both goals were scored last night? Last night, our time, that is, with Stuart, I think it was Stuart Wood or Wood, whatever his first name is, for Burnley. Yeah, Chris Wood. He, literally did the same thing, stuck his foot out, goal. Very similar goals from both clubs. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'll start. I thought Chris Wood's goal was a typical Chris Wood goal. He's a powerful player. He knows where to position himself and he knows where the back of the net is. His goal was the same type of goal that he scored for us for years. It was a typical Chris Wood goal. I'm obviously more interested in the goal that Bamford scored.
Yep.
And to many respects, Bamford's goal was also very much a Bamford goal in where he was in the right place at the right time because of in this case, a reasonable passage of play. He was also, in a sense, lucky to score the goal. He swung his foot at it at the right time and this and that. But the positioning was one of those positions where he naturally wouldn't be there. He was only sort of there because the play took a deflection 2 or 3 passes ago. So it was a Bamford goal in where he was in the right place at the right time, but
it was a lucky goal at the same time.
In many respects, I think Bamford made up for what was a reasonably, and this is going to be controversial, what was a reasonably flat night for him. I thought that Bamford had much better chances than that throughout the night.
I'll agree. Absolutely agreed with that.
Much better chances than that throughout the night. And the one goal he scores is the goal you would probably tip him to not even be a part of in most cases.
Right.
So once again, I come back to it. It was a frustrating, more than anything, game because 9 times out of 10, we would have played completely different in that game to what we played last night.
Absolutely. We definitely missed...
Once again, congratulations to Burnley for getting their point in their fucking cup final.
Absolutely. And we definitely missed Click in the back to help Ayling and Stuart Dallas, who, in my opinion, was the standout player of the game for Leeds. For at least the first half, Stuart Dallas was on point all game. Ayling just wasn't on at all. And that may be a hot topic for anyone who doesn't want to hear it, but he was not on at all last night. Almost every single pass went literally directly to Burnley's feet or shoulders. There was... what are your thoughts, Jason?
Look, with Ayling, I mean, those words are almost spoken in the language when you speak of Ayling like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we're not. I've never sort of sat there and thought that Ayling has been anything but brilliant. But last night he was definitely gave the ball away a bit too much, but I think his saving grace is that he had mates in that as well. The only 3 things that I can really say is I hate playing Burnley just from a simple perspective of it's not an enjoyable game to watch. So if you were introducing, someone to the game of football, you wouldn't show them Leeds versus Burnley in any stretch of the imagination. But Jamie Shack made a really good impact when he came off the bench.
Yes, he did.
And I feel a lot better going away with a point than if we'd have got done 1-0 by those bastards. Excuse my language.
No, absolutely. That's fair. And I agree with that. I think that's really about it. The back end of the first half, though, we really did dominate and we created chances that we just couldn't finish or put the ball in the back of the net. I think that if we'd have even used 2 of those, we would have won 3-1. A Oh, you're just adjusting the camera so the cat's not in the background. It's a gorgeous cat, by the way. So that's
there we go. That's better.
yes. So yeah, I think Burnley just gave us nothing all game. Even when we had those opportunities, they just, again, like Chris was saying, mad props to them for equalizing the game, because fuck me dead. Like
10 man behind the ball.
Yeah, it was good.
Burnley played. If you're Sean Dyche or you're any of the Burnley players, you played the game you needed to play. You executed your game plan absolutely to the T.
Absolutely.
If you were Burnley, you would not change a thing about last night's game,
except maybe one extra goal.
Well, yeah, but we're obviously not fucking Burnley, are we?
No, because who would want to be Burnley? Did you see? And I'm about to crop a photo into when I'm doing the editing of this fan in the stands, mate. The shirt that he had, it was an eyesore and an eyeful at the same time, mate. I'm all for Hawaiian shirts, but mate, I'd soon use that as a fucking rug at the front of my door to wipe your feet.
I must have had my eyes closed when that was on.
Very reminiscent of the fucking Manchester United tablecloth shirt that they had a while ago.
Yes, it was, mate, atrocious. And that's not me shitting on Burnley. That's me shitting on the design. Holy fuck.
Are you talking about the training kit they were wearing on the bench?
No, no. Which that is also awful.
That as well. That was also crap.
That's also awful. Holy fuck. I think honestly,
everything about that football club is just awful. They're a small club. The stadium's small. The fans are fucking.
The only thing good about their club,
of the game and fans.
The only thing good about their club, I find, is Aaron Lennon plays there now. So obviously, old Leeds boy, Chris Wood, and obviously Charlie Taylor, which they're only good because of those three players. And
absolutely,
that's all I'm going to say about that.
Absolutely, like they copied their colours off fucking West Ham, didn't they, or Aston Villa, basically.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they didn't copy. I'm not going to say copy, but they basically, it's the same color scheme, really. And it's like, so you don't know when you're going up against Aston Villa if you're going up against Burnley or not. Holy fuck! I mean, you do, but fuck me dead. Is there anything that you guys have to say other than what we've just said?
Do better.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Jace?
3 points would be nice. In the next 2 or 3 games, that like a solid 3 points and
convincing 3 points.
Like CJ, you know that scene from Ted Lasso where she's at the front door and she's got those flip cards.
Yep.
So I'm just fucking that. I just want to go to the room and just do that. Last night was unacceptable. Do better.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that about ends the review. So I'm just going to